We are usually told that women are exempt from Torah study. Should women be encouraged to or discouraged from studying Torah?
On the one hand, we find in Hazal clear statements to the effect that women are exempt from studying Torah. In fact, we even find statements implying that women should not be taught Torah. With regards to the former, we have the drasha, "V'limadtem otam et b'neichem, ledaber bam b'neichem v'lo b'notechem." You shall teach your sons, and the drasha of the Chachamim was, "and not your daughters," which could be interpreted to mean that one is not required to, but not that it's forbidden to do so. There's also the pasuk, "V'shinamtam levanecha," you shall teach them to your sons, v'lo nivnotecha, not to your daughters. So it was explained by the Chazal. And we have the more explicit statement in the Mishnah, "Shekol ha'melamed et bito Torah melamda tifluth," that he who teaches his daughter Torah is teaching her something that is likely to lead to negative and undesirable results. However, it seems to me that to continue in such a vein today would be a grave mistake. And in fact, what I'm suggesting is not new. After all, it's been about a century since the Beth Yaakov movement or institutions for the study of Torah, for the higher education of Jewish women. It's been about a century since that got off the ground with the blessing of many of Gedolei Israel. And we see today that women in all parts of the Orthodox world, each in their own way, there are differences between the different streams and outlooks that exist in the Orthodox world, true, but nevertheless women in all streams of Orthodoxy are studying Torah, different areas of Torah, different aspects of Torah, using different approaches, but everyone is teaching young women and older women Torah. In other words, without really talking about it, without really discussing the matter in depth, the reality is that the Jewish people has realized that the study of Torah for women is not only permissible, it is in fact essential. Obviously, the historical reality once, as opposed to what we see today, that historical reality was very different. By and large, women were not literate. This was true in the Jewish world. It was also true in the non-Jewish world. Women were not generally educated at all, or very minimally, and it should not surprise us that women were considered to have little to do with the study of Torah. But today we know, it should be clear to all of us, that the situation is very different. Women today receive all manner of higher education. Some women go on to study at very high levels in all kinds of educational institutions and enter professional life on all types of professions, including the most demanding. In such a climate, to suggest that women should not study Torah, or it's not necessary, that they are exempt, they don't have to bother, as it were, I think is a huge mistake. Because if a person is studying, if a person is reading, if a person is ingesting information from certain sources, various types of sources, very often not Jewish sources, it is even more important that they also ingest into their intellectual system, into their mind, into their soul, that they ingest Torah information and Torah thought and Torah concepts. The point is that women, both when they are young, before they get married, particularly in fact before they get married and of necessity find themselves with more and more responsibilities and less time to study Torah, it is essential that women, young women, and then also later in life, throughout their lives, women just as men should study Torah on a regular basis, on a daily basis, in fact. I think this is of paramount importance in our time, when the world as we know it, the world around us, the Western world particularly, is quite clearly insane. This is not an exaggeration. The world is quite crazy today compared to what many of us recall just a generation or two ago. And it is of ever greater importance that we have a secure and firm anchor of ideas, morals, values that are at the very basis of our identity and our lives as Torah Jews, in order to know, simply to distinguish between right and wrong, to be able to discern what is good and what is bad. The world is such a confusing place today that without Torah study, no person, man or woman, can be expected to know what to make of all kinds of phenomena, of all kinds of ideas, all kinds of behaviors, etc. Torah, therefore, is absolutely essential. If the question is asked, what area of Torah should women study? I believe the answer is, first of all, any area of Torah, any type of subject matter within the realm of Torah that they wish to study, which is also the same is true for men, on the one hand. On the other hand, we have certain halachic principles regarding the study of Torah. We know that a person should study both Torah shebichtav and Torah shebaal peh, and one should divide one's time in a certain way, as we've discussed on other occasions, and the same should apply to women. It's, in fact, unfortunately the case that many men do not find the time, they should, but they do not find the time to study Tanakh in any serious kind of way. And particularly, and therefore it could be dafka women who will lead the way in this regard and actually remind the men that the study of Tanakh is of great importance. And I cannot think of anything more conducive to leading a person, leading a Jew in the right direction than, for example, the study of Sefer Tehillim, Be'iyun, studying the book of Tehillim, of Psalms, with commentaries, understanding these amazing works of devotion and insight and connecting to Hashem on a serious, deep level, not just reciting them as many people do in a very superficial manner. The true effect and the true value that one should find in reading and studying Sefer Tehillim can only be done when one studies it in depth. And these are things most certainly that women can and must do. And if women are not encouraged to study Torah, when this also applies to men, if men are not encouraged to study Torah by the same token, unfortunately they will find other, much less acceptable ways of spending their time. The huge number of hours that young people nowadays spend staring at their cell phone screens or at other kinds of screens, engaging in what's called social media almost obsessively, is both very time-consuming and also, often also very detrimental in many different ways for all kinds of reasons. So let us therefore encourage everybody, including ourselves and our children, boys and girls, men and women, everyone should understand that part of being a Jew, part of being a Jew is connected to his Judaism, to Hashem, to the Torah, is the study, the regular study, the serious study of Torah.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.